All right, is this any better for those of you that can hear us? Send me up in the chat, though.
Yes, it's better.
Sweet. You're welcome. All right, Kevin, are you there? Kevin, can you test your audio quick?
Yep, I am connected to audio.
I got it. Let's go. Am I recording? I am recording. Got all that chaos on record. All right, we're going to get moving here. Shut it. So I thought. All right, welcome to our May edition in June. Our June edition of the May releases meeting. Thanks for showing up again. I always appreciate the turnout. We'll move this thing out of the way. Welcome, Ben Geilman. So I think today's is going to be relatively short and sweet. I had a good run in May, I would say, a decent amount done. A lot of back-end organization, story writing, and restructuring of how we're kind of doing things. So it's not as fruitful as it could be from like a front-end perspective, but I think we've set ourselves up really nicely, kind of moving forward to deliver throughout the rest of the year. Oops. So I don't have much to kind of preach on today. I know last time I went on for like 20 minutes and made this way too long. Jiro didn't bring any snacks today. He's not the cool mom. So I won't make this go any longer than it needs to, but we want everyone on the call to know, specifically the Dealer Fire folks, but everybody, that how we get kind of ideas for our iterations of what we do, whether it's new functions or even bug fixes, but new features and new products, isn't just in a silo between the 3, 4 to 8 of us in product or the 50 of us in R&D as a whole. So how we really try to get ideas is from customers and from you guys. So I was in a conversation with some production folk the other day, and they're saying, Aaron, well, you're losing touch with the dealer. Well, first of all, that's why I go to like every show, so I have time to sit down with dealers one-on-one. Second of all, that's why I travel with Paul when he goes to dealerships, so I can actually sit down and talk to dealers. Same with the rest of the crew here. I know Eric was just traveling on his own free will to a couple dealerships in Kansas. If Genevieve could walk comfortably, I'm sure she'd be doing it too, but I know she's on the phone all the time talking to dealers specifically about how to better our products and our feature set. So one, it's from the customers, and two, we know that you guys, as much as we try, are actually in contact with customers more than we are, and more than we'd even want to be probably. But so to that end, where we really get a lot of our ideas and direction from is and should be you guys. I know that not every day, it's not every day that I'm down in your meetings. I do try to stop in meetings once in a while, but talking to you directly, but I know the rest of the product crew, as part of their goals, and I know they do it anyway, but it's to sit in with you guys and kind of talk about what the needs are, what people are seeing, and what we need to improve on. That being said, there is a more formal way that this happens, and it happens once a quarter. It's a main kind of crew of people, so it's called the Product Council, and it's a representative for each of the kind of the sections of the business that we have here. Most of the time it's a director, sometimes supervisor type / managers, depending on what your departmental breakdown looks like. And so that is kind of how we fully get ideas in, and not only get those ideas, but we actually sit together and rank ideas and figure out what would be most impactful to the business as a whole and which things we should work on, because obviously there are a million ideas and we don't have enough resources to follow up on everything. So part of our job, and probably the most important part of our job and the Product Council's job, is to figure out what we should be working on out of all the million infinite ideas that we have. And how we do that is by sitting down, ranking them on several factors, which include the probability of bringing in new business, how these things can help retain current customers, what's the other one, operational efficiencies, yeah, and how big of a pain in the butt it is for us to build, because obviously that'll change timelines. So those are kind of the 4 factors we use, and so as a larger team, we all vote on these things, and how it comes out is how we kind of decide which things to work on. So to help fill the funnel, this meeting is this Thursday. I thought it would be helpful if you could get with your manager, director, between now and the end of the day, or I mean, whatever. You should be doing this constantly, and I hope you're doing this constantly. Come to us too. But if you have any ideas or thoughts or concerns or whatever with the product as it stands today, get with them. Their job will be to flow it up to us. We'll put it in the consideration set, and then as a team, as a broader Dealer Fire team and management team, we'll then vote on these things based on those 4 criteria that we talked about. The most important will flow to the top, and that's how we'll decide what to work on outside of our main roadmap items. We do go over a lot of those other things that we're going to work on anyway, like Engine 6, digital retail, some big multi-site management and OEM management tools and Ignite, kind of the bigger items that we worked on that we have already talked about in the council meetings, but these will kind of fit in to these things. So these ideas, they could be anything from the wildest imagination to a smaller kind of idea. Bug fixes are okay, but obviously we'll fix those things anyway. But hopefully new-ish functionality or improvement of functionality that we already have is what we're looking for. Things that you would guess we could actually accomplish between this product council and the next product council. So flow those up to your managers or directors. They will flow them up to us. We'll rank them, get them in, and then communicate to you which ones are kind of in flight and which ones we have to kind of wait on. But that is product council. So please participate because we don't know what we're doing without you. Really, we're just here to amplify from your knowledge and skill set and experience with the customer. So that's all I got for today for my portion. These people have other things to say, I think. Yeah, just call it. Woo! All right, so next up, as always, is Genevieve. I pulled up a stool for you. It's really short, though.
All right, so I never remember arrows or click. Okay, excellent. Same as last time, I kind of threw this in, and you'll be able to see this on the product dev site, but it's just kind of talking about some of the smaller issues and ads that we had that came directly from you guys and some of your requests. So these aren't any crazy big things that's happening, so I'm not going to talk about each individual one, but if you're kind of curious on the status of any of this, this will be part of the slideshow on the site. Next, as always, I wanted to touch on the Ignite app and kind of where that's sitting right now. The big focus right now is on iPad support. So right now we kind of have this awkward in-between that's not supported. So we have Ignite.com, which supports desktop, obviously. Try accessing that on mobile phone. It's not great right now. We also have the app, which is phone-based. So we have the iOS and Android versions. But then we kind of have that tablet segment that just kind of looks awkward no matter which of those two you go on. And long-term goals are to be creating more of a responsive interface. But for right now, we're working on taking our iOS app and making it iPhone and iPad friendly to kind of open that up. And that's an engineering Q2 goal. So something that Mahmoud is working on himself and working on as we speak. This is not currently live. It's something that he's been working on the last couple of sprints and is continuing to finish up this current sprint. So the goal is to release all of these updates all at once. Next one that I know at least several of you have sent in the request for. We've talked about this new style guide and the new DealerSocket styling and how we've transitioned Ignite over into that. And as we go along, there's constantly little sections that need to be custom updated, little kind of bugs in the style guide that we're tweaking out. And one of the latest ones was those tabs across the top that were difficult to read. That is officially live, so no longer white font in that. You can read the tabs now, guys. It's, and again, this is it's a great example of the requests that we've seen come through that product forms on that product dev site that we probably saw 10 separate requests to get this one updated. But again, that lets us know that you guys are in it every day and clicking around and using certain features. So you're the best ones to notice when something is definitely amiss, when you have to do the same thing several times. So that one is fixed and live, and we're working on additional requests. Next one is some requests that came through were related to field size, and these are both live. So this is the APR text length and the disclaimer field for the slides. I believe both of these came in from support, and those are both live. Kind of on that same front, another support request is that numeric validation, right? As it was, the APR allowed any text to be entered in. So we've changed that so it's numerical values only, kind of prevent some of these weird issues coming through. And that's going to be monthly payments, cash due at signing, and the APR fields. I will add that it does allow the dots. So if you do 2.99, it's not going to freak out. It does allow that. I believe the last one I want to touch on, and I sent an email about this out the day it went live to support and the account management team. But essentially what this is a pop-up disclaimer whenever a customer tries to upload an image that they could use on their website. So this is going to be, for example, if they're creating a new slide for their slideshow and they decide to upload an image from their computer, as soon as they click upload, it's going to pop up this disclaimer that looks like this with some text from legal, basically saying that, yes, I'm telling you that I have the rights for this image. I know we've been doing a big push lately internally from the content team and production team and support teams to make sure that we ask and can verify that we have rights to images, but customers obviously can upload their own. So this is kind of our way to make sure at least they're saying that they have that agreement. And to kind of go along with that, we are storing in our backend database who that user was that said they agreed to it, the company and website that it was updated to, the date that it was, and the image name. And something I want to point out with this is it is going to appear every time they try to upload an image, but if they bulk upload, so if they want to upload 10 images at once, it's not going to pop up 10 times and drive them completely crazy. It's going to have that one agreement per each time they try, if that makes sense. But it is something that only customers should be seeing. So if you guys see this pop up for you at any time, please let me know or shoot an email to product management and we'll get that taken care of. It's definitely not something we want. I mean, obviously, you guys are just going to blindly be clicking it. We don't need you to be agreeing to anything. So I don't want to slow down your workday with it. So it should only be customers that are seeing this. Kevin.
All right, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, Aaron or Genevieve or whoever, if you could drive for me, that'd be great.
Sure.
All right, so very, very busy month of May in terms of Engine 5 and OEM releases. I'll get into OEM in a second here. But first off, starting off with Engine 5, some of the, I guess, not really fixes, but different configurations that we added to the system. Number one, if you remember last month, we did a global update where we actually put in sliders for filters on each of our SRPs, and that was a global update. So this month we actually released something that was kind of reactive to some of the dealers that had actually preferred the checkbox type display. So now within Builder, whether you're in support or production, you can actually select if you want to show checkbox or slider for each specific, whether it's year, price, or mileage. So for some of the dealers that I know were like, we really want the checkboxes back. This was released a few weeks ago, so they should be all set to go. But this is the configuration to actually do either or. Next one. This one I'm actually pretty excited about. As we've been working on a lot of vehicle merchandising type projects, one of the biggest things that I've seen, especially with some of our biggest, maybe I guess we could call them competitors in the industry, like BP and Carvana, Vroom, a couple others, they all have really good images, high resolution, large pixel images that they're using on their vehicle description pages. So we actually released VDP Theme 4, which is a VDP that has the configuration to allow for a 1,000 pixel wide vehicle image. Most inventory providers out there right now will provide 1,000 pixel, it's technically 1024 by 768, but they'll send this through in the feed at no extra charge to the dealer. So if you have a dealer that's looking for something maybe a little bit different on their VDP, they're looking for something that's a little bit more high resolution or more focus on the vehicle itself, they can use VDP Theme 4, which has a lot of the same modules as Themes 1, 2, and 3. It's just that the picture takes up a greater amount of space, puts a little bit more emphasis on it, and it looks a lot better on mobile. So VDP Theme 4. If you go to the next one, Flick Fusion, most of you know that we use Flick Fusion as stitch video in pretty much all of our OEM programs, and we do sell it as a retail product as well. One thing that I think when we first launched it, probably about 2 or 3 years ago now, is that when we embedded it on our vehicle description pages, we did not include the essentially player controls where it actually says Flick Fusion, because I believe at the time we were just trying to white label it. So we had some issues with that with dealers and with consumers where they couldn't pause the video, they couldn't replay the video. So we actually started a project in Engine 5 and Epsilon team where we just essentially expanded the size of the embedded player so that people can actually pause it and play it and rewind it as needed now, and that's a global update. You can go to the next slide. Our featured vehicles module, this was a specific request from the content team that's been doing a lot of marketing-specific product projects this last month. Been working with them, especially John and Brian and Wes. And this was a big one, changes to default settings on the featured vehicles module that can be placed on custom landing pages so that it looks a little bit better on tablet, on mobile. There's more vehicles to select from. There's a little bit more info available as well. And this will coincide with a project we're working on right now to create a few new CLP templates that we can actually use within Ignite and have a little better call to action, a little bit more imagery on the vehicle itself, whether it's a model or a comparison. So that's the featured vehicles module. If you go to the next one. This one I'm pretty excited about as well. One of the biggest kind of logistical issues that we have on DealerFire websites, especially with our virtual garage, is that if any dealer or any third party comes in and says, I want to install, you know, Goobagoo or Contact at Once or whatever, these types of stay in touch sticky footers, I guess you would call them, where they actually pin to the bottom of the web page, it causes major issues for our current virtual garage tray because it covers it up, right? So the website doesn't necessarily look good because we built it for our platform, but then there's all these things that are being bolted on top of it. So this virtual garage tray is actually a new theme, and it's the ability to put the virtual garage in the sticky navigation. So as you can see on the screenshot here, and there is a link on the top right if you want to click on it, but you're actually able to save vehicles, and it'll actually have a little animated CSS that calls attention to it. But then when you click on it, whether it's on desktop, tablet, or mobile, you'll actually be able to natively either swipe through the vehicles or use the arrow keys to go back and forth on it. And this will hopefully kind of alleviate some of the issues that we've been having with those third parties that just kind of cover up our virtual tray. And we don't yet have the ability to show viewed vehicles in this compare box, but that's kind of phase 2 of the project. So the idea is most cases, especially our OEM teams, are moving the navigation to some sort of sticky header. So the idea here is that we can kind of migrate that footer-based tray into the header and actually get more attention on it for future projects. Okay, if you can go into OEM stuff then. Insanely busy month for OEM. I apologize to Genevieve and her entire team that I've hijacked because we've launched 3 OEM programs in the last 30 days, probably even less than that. Acura went live 2 weeks ago, Mercedes-Benz last week, and now Toyota this week. So we have a lot of stuff going on, especially with technical integration. If you go to the first slide, there is some cleanup still kind of going on with some of our existing programs. So new release vehicles, Jaguar XE and F-Pace. We actually created new model landing pages in the showroom for those that will go on each individual website. That'll be great for whether we're sending digital advertising to them or we're just getting more visibility on those specific models. Next one, please. This was a pretty big project as well. Now, one little caveat or qualifier here, we are not a certified web provider for Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. However, we do provide microsites for automation, which has a lot of pull, especially with CDJR and Shift Digital, who runs that program. So they actually asked us to create a CDJR web service for leads, kind of like what we have with all of our other OEM programs, so that AutoNation can actually claim all of their leads for co-op submission, reimbursement essentially. So we worked with the engineering team, we worked with Shift Digital, and huge props to Clayton on this, who kind of spearheaded it. We had to get this all set up on our side, activated for the CDJR sites. It's a lead web service, so it acts very similar to the other OEM programs that we have, where it sends leads through Shift Digital to be verified, and then it sends to AutoNation's Compass CRM system, which is kind of their own proprietary system. So CDJR lead web service. On to the next one. Volkswagen has made a ton of updates on their platform just recently, and there's probably even more to come. This one was specifically for what they call their RTI incentives feed, which populates that current incentives pages or page that you guys probably all know very well. And what they're trying to do here is basically just make things more accurate. So based on dealer location, based on the region that the dealer's in, and national offers, essentially they send a ton of offers through, and we have to write business rules on our side to display what one is most accurate for the zip code, essentially. So RTI incentive speed updates. On to the next one. Couple updates here on two big programs that we just launched. I myself, along with Eric, are actually on our way to Dallas today to start and kick off the Acura Zone Roadshow, which will be in 6 cities over the next few weeks, where we're presenting DealerFire, DealerSocket products to all Acura Zone reps and dealers. Our first one is actually tomorrow morning, but both Acura themes are done. They're ready to go with production. We're just waiting on enrollments at this point. If you want to access those, Acura1.DealerFire, or I'm sorry, Acura.DealerFire and Acura2.DealerFire. And Jesse has been cranking away at these, not only on the Acura side, but Mercedes-Benz side, to try and make sure that they're ready for the insanely fast turnaround that Shift Digital has kind of been requiring of us as of late. So if you want to check those out, they are ready to go. They look great. We took a little bit of a design detour from the kind of classic VW theme, if you will, to kind of a little bit more outside the box to give dealers a little bit more variety once they enroll with us. Okay, next slide, a little bit more Acura. So all these technical integrations, I kind of mentioned these the last time, have been done, everything from FTP files that we have to deliver to Shift Digital to a few other above and beyond integrations with Acura. A few of those are still in progress, but for the most part, the program is relatively solid, and it's ready to go. Any questions that you have on it, obviously just ask me. We have, I think, 2, maybe 3 legacy Acura customers, so our account management team will work with them to get them enrolled in the program and ready to go. We will probably, starting this week, once we start presentations, we'll probably start seeing enrollments come pretty fast. There's 5 vendors in the program, though, so it'll probably function very similar to like a Kia program, where Dealer.com still has the majority of dealers, and the rest will kind of be split amongst the other 4 providers. And the last thing to talk about, Mercedes-Benz, huge win for us. We are a Mercedes-Benz certified website and digital advertising provider. Enrollment started basically Friday, but the enrollment website for dealers to actually go get signed up is not yet live. They're hoping to get that up by Tuesday. We've been doing a ton of webinars with dealers and regional reps and shift reps to get everybody up to speed on the DealerFire DealerSocket project. Jesse is pounding away this week at getting Mercedes-Benz 1 and Mercedes-Benz 2 themes up and running, likely by Wednesday or Thursday, when we kind of need them to be ready to show off. So we'll send out those links when they're ready to go. Standard shift technical integration applies here. There's not really any above and beyond type projects we've been working on, except Mercedes-Benz is requiring all providers to do a exterior color standardization. If anyone's worked with Mercedes-Benz before, you know that they have like, I don't know, 200 exterior color combinations from, 14 variations of black. So what they're trying to have us do is basically map every existing exterior color in their system to a standardized color. So those 14 different types of black will actually just become black on our side. So Zam and a few other people from the programming team have been doing a great job getting that script set up and ready to launch for dealers that are ready to enroll in the program. So that's pretty much it. No other programs to report on right now. Toyota fixed ops advertising, we're a certified provider for. That launches this week. Kelvin and Wes will be doing a webinar on that midweek, I believe. But that'll be a relatively small one with only one standard technical integration project. And that's it for Engine 5 and OEM.
Should we give Kevin a round of applause? Good work, Kevin. My name is Eric. I do Engine 6 and digital retail. Not a ton to show you. Like Aaron said, a lot of stuff on the back end, so razzle-dazzle front-end stuff, not a lot to see, but here's what you got. So first on Engine 6, we've been talking a lot about the search results page. Big page, right? A lot of stuff goes down in the SRP. It goes down in the SRP. It's a remake of the Yo Gotti song. It goes down in DM. You check it out. Get on my SoundCloud. Come on. Any of you guys browse the internet, look at memes? Come on. So some of the things we've been working on are improvements to the user experience, make sure that there's no traps. Like I go onto the SRP and I search for Buick and Cadillac and select Audi A6. It doesn't screw it all up. So, we're not taking any existing search functionality from some, out-of-the-box SRP. We're building this all from the ground up. So we have to accommodate all these edge cases or things that, where, you could run into a dead end. But by doing so, we're creating a pretty awesome experience for searchers, as you just saw in that little video, doing some cool stuff. So we continue to work on that. SRP is near complete. Finished the search bar, and now we're just working on some stylistic things, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm pretty excited about that. Another little Engine 6 module doohickey that we finished up recently. This will be pretty cool for like a Get Directions widget or any sort of credit app or any form on the website that requires a full address. Instead of filling out, street number, street, city, state, zip code, all of that, you just start typing your address and it knows where you're at. And so you just select your address and bam, it fills in all of those fields. So, think about on mobile how handy that would be to just type the first three characters of your address and it fills out the entire address form. So where I'm picturing this is coming into play the most would be a Get Directions module, either on the home page or VDP, where, you see a sweet little black and gray and blue Google Maps, and I start typing my address, and bam, I just need to go to the dealership and buy a car because I only had to type 3 letters in my address. So that's a huge selling point, right? Next up on E6, we're working on the vehicle details page, which is a huge project, as you can imagine. Home page with the home page and the VDP. It's not just one thing. There are lots of different modules. Remember, Engine 6 is all, module gallery page builder stuff. So we're not just building the VDP. We're building all of the modules that go on the VDP, and then the web services teams will put those modules together. So when I say VDP, home page, miscellaneous modules, all of those things are kind of modularized, right? And then you will have the ability, anybody with access to Ignite will have the ability to customize those modules, resize them, change where they are positioned on the page and so forth. So putting that puzzle together is pretty tricky, but it's pretty cool at the same time. And again, as Aaron mentioned, product council stuff, we're always looking for cool new module ideas. Like if you really look at our websites now, it's all kind of the same stuff. If you see anything existing inside or out of the automotive industry that you would love to have our sites have in the next, 8 months, now is a great time to let us know. What else? Next month, I'll probably show you a little more of the page builder where you can like drag modules, and I'll show you some more of that. But I wanted to save that, so I had something for next month, so you don't get that this month. Digital retail. I showed you a sweet little video yesterday. The interface is still the same. We haven't completed any more work on the UI because it's done. We do have the tablet style guide pretty much set. So we have desktop, tablet, and mobile all done now. And now we're really just kind of getting into the weeds with it and working with all the various teams. Digital retail is the first, Crossfire was the first kind of cross-departmental project that we had between website and CRM. Digital retail is going to be CRM, desking, website, and inventory. So it's a large undertaking for all of our offices and teams to come together and work on this. But we've been doing a good job so far. We feel really excited about it. We're doing a lot of planning right now and, understanding who should work on what first. Like, I can't do this until that team does that. So, we're doing a great job on planning it. And and hopefully next quarter we'll do a great job on building it and executing that plan. Another fun thing is we're looking at what sort of features that the system will have and the different tiers and pricing and packages and stuff like that. So that's still happening. It seems like it's really going to happen. We're going to have digital retail. So that's it. In wrapping it up, biggest takeaway or action item for everybody here is, bubble up your ideas. I know a lot of people have done a great job of submitting ideas through that form, but if there are really, persistent pains or like a really big idea we have to get out in front of, make sure that bubbles up to whoever you report to and approves your PTO, tell that person, and they'll tell us at the product council, and then we'll vote to see, who gets a rose, who doesn't, who stays on the island, et cetera. So.
Questions? Any questions?
Right.
Who's Matt?
I don't know. It was sent to you privately.
I'll assume it's for that color. That'll be a bug. Any other questions from anybody about anything? Concerns, ideas? Nothing, we can get out of here. Let's do it. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your time. Speaking up, you should know that nothing they send me is private when I'm doing it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But you do. Awesome. Yes, 30 minutes. And 3 of that was rebooting the audio.